Hello and welcome to our Spring 2024 Vessel News Show. I'm Aiden DeBoer.
And I'm Cierra O'Malley. It was a busy semester here at the University of Sioux Falls, and there has been a lot going on throughout campus.
We have stories about the new photo studio, 2 theater plays, the men's basketball season, the 54 Film Fest, the student dance, and much more.
The University of Sioux Falls dreamt bigger for this spring show with the musical Big Fish. It's the story of a father and a son coming to terms with their relationship as the father nears the end of his life. Vessel reporter Clayton Cooper sat down with Alicia Joelfs to talk a little more about the production.
Hello, I'm Clayton Cooper and welcome to Java Talk. Today, I'm here with the theater director here at USF, Alicia Joelfs. Now, Alicia, how do you feel about putting on the musical Big Fish this April?
I feel great, actually. We are ahead of schedule on quite a few things, and the things that we need to get caught up on, we have enough time to do. We have a really awesome cast, and they've been working very hard. We also are blessed with some really great technicians who are doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work. So I'm feeling really good about where we're at.
Now, have there been any challenges that have come up this far in the production of the show?
Absolutely, yes. With any musical, there's lots of things that come up and things you can't anticipate. One of the things I struggle with is making decisions, just in general, not just in theater. So there's been so many instances where I've relied on my technicians and even the cast to help me make decisions, and they've done a really great job in that. But this show in particular, it transcends a lot of time and spaces, and so making all of that really cohesive for the storytelling has been challenging, but we're figuring it out.
Now, how is Big Fish different from any other show that's been put on here at USF before?
Big Fish is a stage adaptation of a story that was originally a novel, and then it became a film version by Tim Burton. And the stage adaptation premiered in the early 20-teens. And so it's fairly recent and contemporary. The music's a little bit different than what we've done in the past. We've typically gone more golden era age of musical theater, and this has some more contemporary vibes. It also is a story that incorporates a lot of really fun singing and dancing, but has a pretty deep storyline that goes with it as well.
What are you most looking forward to with, obviously, the premiere of the show?
I'm looking forward for our performers to have an actual audience. I think they have done an extraordinary job this year of working really hard and being really prepared and being very professional. And so for that hard work to pay off will really come when they have an audience and energy to feed off of. And so I'm excited for our audiences to see the work that the students have done, but I'm also excited for our students to feel that energy and that excitement in the space, and then to hopefully be really proud of the work that they've done.
Now, I have heard that there are going to be puppets in this show. What exactly does that entail?
So I don't want to give anything away, I guess, at this point, but we did have a puppetry class last fall, and Dr. Brenda Paulson so graciously allowed us to incorporate some of the Big Fish puppetry work into her section. So the students that are working on the puppets have been in the class, and you'll see puppets from time to time in a variety of ways throughout the show in terms of characterization. Like I said, I don't want to give too much of it away, but the students are working on designing and building those puppets, and then they'll be operated by our technicians. So we're very excited to incorporate that academic piece of what we do at USF Theater into our production.
So, how did you decide to put on Big Fish?
Well, last year, Once Upon a Mattress opened, the second night of the show, I thought, okay, they know what they're doing, they're fine. So I went down to my office and I started looking for the next season's show. And Big Fish has come across my desk a few times in a few different ways. Just I've heard some of the music, I was familiar with the story, and honestly the thing that sold it for me was my husband grew up loving the movie, and my husband doesn't know anything about theater, and so the fact that he was slightly excited about the story, I was like, yeah, we'll do this. But the story I thought had some depth to it, and I really liked how the music would challenge our students and also create space for us to have that puppetry and do some really difficult and Broadway-like choreography. So it kind of checked all of those boxes for us.
Thank you for joining me today, Alicia. Yes. This has been Java Talk. See you next time.
The University of Sioux Falls is introducing a new photography studio where students can create and collaborate to make inspiring visual arts. Students have already been utilizing this new space on campus to create. I spoke with student Autumn Nur about the new photography studio. Here's the story. The new photography studio, located in the McDonald Center at the University of Sioux Falls, is now ready for students to start creating amazing visual art. The studio provides hands-on learning experiences that prepare students for their future. Already, students are taking advantage of the studio resources, experimenting with lighting, camera settings, and composition. Student Autumn Nur explains what equipment she uses to enhance the quality of her shoots.
I love using the professional lights. I love using the backdrops. The white backdrop is my favorite. It's just clean and it allows me to, like, if I want to do something in the background, I can add that into a photo later. And I just love being able to come in here and sit down and edit. I love the quietness of the space. And when it comes to the tripods, I'm able to like stand that up and do my own content while I'm making content for somebody else. And so it's just a really fun time in here, and I love all the equipment, honestly.
Photography students are now working on their own projects in the studio. Photography student Lexi Hengeveld shares the opportunities the photography studio has provided her as a photo student.
So it gives me a space to actually take photos in, because a lot of spaces in Sioux Falls you do have to rent per hour, which can be a lot. Some places are really expensive. So it's nice having a place and a studio that is free, with backdrops, because backdrops are also really expensive. But it's nice having a space designated just for photography purposes. I've done headshots in here too, which is super nice. And again, just like product stuff.
With its doors open to students from all different majors, it is ready to inspire many creative students and add to the lively academic scene at USF. For the Vessel Online, I'm Sierra.
For our next story, I spoke with my co-anchor, Sierra, about her job and experiences as the Media Study Department's work-study student. Meet Sierra O'Malley, Junior Media Studies major and the Media Studies Department's work-study student at USF.
I'm the KCFS radio manager, so I manage the class of radio, and then I clean, I help students if they come in, I run everywhere, I check the mail, I just do everything that they ask me to do.
They are Nick Poppins and Nancy Sutton, the advisors and professors for Media Studies majors, as well as O'Malley's bosses. Those two come up with tasks for O'Malley on a day-to-day basis. Some projects may only take a few minutes, while others are big picture tasks, such as organizing storage rooms when O'Malley needs something to do.
I know where everything is, I know what to do, so when we have like businesses come, I've got to show them around and make connections through them, which is an opportunity I wouldn't have just being a normal student. And then I'd say just helping students out, I get to know more people on campus, so that's always nice.
O'Malley is seemingly always busy, but she enjoys her position and looks to continue her work next year.
There's just a lot of things I've learned doing it, and I've made really great connections with my professors just because I am their worker, so I know them on a more personal level. So that's really nice and helpful to just have people that are good to work for. But there's a lot of things that I like about it, so no complaints.
For the Vessel Online, I'm Aiden DeBoer.
I really like working in the media department. It's really fun. That story was so good.
Thank you.
And hopefully it shows what I actually do as a work-study student.
I enjoyed working on it with you.
Thank you. The University of Sioux Falls hosted therapy dogs in their library. This is an event led by the Cougar Activities Board to help students distress. Vessel reporter Kat has the story.
Twice a semester, the University of Sioux Falls hosts therapy dogs in their library for students.
Her name is Rosie. Will be 8 in April.
Dog's name is Penny, and she's a 10-year-old golden retriever.
And she is a border collie, and her name's Bella.
She is a golden doodle. She's 5 years old.
Can you give me a trophy?
So he is Sir Tulliver Bascom. His call name is obviously Tully.
Debbie Hansen, Tully's owner, talks about her experiences with dog therapy.
Another time we were at that, he was playing with a kid, but there was a guy with the kid too, and they were wearing similar shirts, so I knew it was. And the young man started to ask me questions while the little boy was playing. I asked about the dog, and he was petting the dog too. And later, when I was getting my paper signed, the woman thanked me for talking to the young man. And I said, well, I mean, we're just talking about the dog. It wasn't like, I was doing anything official. She said, you don't understand. His loss is very recent, and he is not really talking to people. Not just about that, but about anything. The fact that he struck up a conversation with you and you just went with it, it is huge, especially since he was at an event which identified him as someone who just had a loss, and that you just ignored that and went with the conversation. I said, well, yeah, because I was too stupid to know any different. But she said, that's huge. Again, didn't know.
USF security guard James Kivimaki has never missed dog therapy. This is why.
My name is James Kivimaki, and I am a supervisor for security here at USF. The event, they bring the puppies in, and I love dogs, okay? And one of the biggest things I love about the dogs is there's a couple individuals that I've come to know for the last few years, but what I really enjoy is I watch the students come in and to see the joy in their faces when they're sitting down and petting the dogs. It's like they could have a bad day and come and see this puppy dog and just break into a smile. That is what makes it worth it for me.
Therapy dogs will return to the USF Mears Library on May 13th. Come join to de-stress.
We are taking a break right now, but when we come back, we will look at some senior shows and see how everyone liked this spring's student dance.
Also, stay with us to see how track and field team is shaping up. We'll be back right after this break. Welcome back to the Vessel Online Spring Show.
Basketball season wrapped up, but spring weather means the golfers and track athletes are busy with meets and tournaments. The University of Sioux Falls Athletic Department recently had some coaching staff changes. Vessel reporter Coulter talks to the new cross-country distance coach.
The University of Sioux Falls has brought on a new cross-country and distance track coach. His name is Zach Lundberg. He was previously an athlete here at USF himself, and after his college career came to an end, he decided to continue his love for running by helping out with the team.
Every day for the last 10 years of my life, I had gone to practice at 3:30, even back in high school. So it's like, oh, I missed that kind of. I don't want to just go home. So then I reached out to Doug Peterson, our old head coach, and was like, what do you think about me coming by and just helping with practice every once in a while? And that was right around 2 years ago now. And I helped out for that first outdoor season, and then he called me up later in August that same year and was like, hey, you want to come back and help out again for cross country and indoor and outdoor? And I said, sure. And it kind of snowballed from there. Doug had a year and a half left. I didn't know that at the time, but then I was offered the job in December to take over the distance side of track and field and then be the cross-country coach. So yeah, that's kind of the quick and short version of it, but yeah, that's how I became the coach here.
He has a lot of big plans for the program, of course bringing home that cross-country conference title and making it to nationals.
You always have the big goal, like want to go to nationals with both men's and women's teams during cross-country, but the goal really is that conference title. Love to take one or both of those away from Augustana. So that's the big. Those two are kind of the big goals for kind of looking down the road a few years, but maybe even next year. Who knows? On the track side, break as many school records. I just want to see all those records fall from Mason Phillips and Terrence Siglowski. See those people's names get ripped off the record boards, and that's just get faster and faster. And you're already seeing that with Caleb Rivera and Cott, and it just makes for a fun and exciting outdoor season that we're about to get into, and then you kind of wish summer away because cross country is coming up. So yeah, excited for both of those. Those are kind of the big goals the next year and a half or a year.
All of us cross country and track athletes are very excited to have him as our coach. This has been Coulter Elkin of the University of Sioux Falls.
The University of Sioux Falls men's golf team kicked off their season earlier this spring. Vessel reporter Noah talked with Mason Weeks about how they prepare in the winter and their expectations for the season.
Every spring, USF golfers look forward to the end of the winter season so they can practice outside. With snow and bad weather in February and March, they have to practice inside getting ready for the upcoming season. Mason Weeks from Spirit Lake, Iowa is one of almost a dozen golfers getting ready for college play.
As far as what we do for practicing in the winter, we have access out of great shots, so we just go out there a lot. Typically when it's really cold in the winter, it's kind of whatever, and we just try to go out there for however long we can.
Weeks says he also tries to work with the swing coach at Great Shots a few times a month.
And then as far as expectations for this season, we're hoping to try to win our conference this year. We have a pretty good team. And then as far as expectations for myself, I'm hoping to win conference individually, of course.
The golf team has already played several invitationals, including Augustana Invitational and the Washburn University Fire Open, then preparing for the NSIC Championship in late April. For the Vessel Online, I'm Noah.
The USF men's basketball had a great season, beating NSIC teams like Augustana and third-ranked Minnesota Moorhead. Vessel reporter Caleb talked with basketball star Jack Thompson and head coach Chris Johnson about the season.
There are many trials and tribulations when it comes to college basketball, and this year USF was no stranger to it. Head coach Chris Johnson delves into how they overcame such adversity.
I think it started right from the beginning. We lost our first 3 games by 1 point each, and when you have high expectations, that'll set you back on your heels. I thought we did a great job of kind of responding to that, and by the middle of January we were playing really well, had gotten to 5 or 6 games above 500.
I then spoke with Jack Thompson, senior guard who helped lead the Cougars to an NSIC tournament appearance.
We had a lot of new people coming in. We lost a lot the year before, so I had a lot of transfers, freshmen, like 6 to 8, so a lot of new faces to get used to the program.
Through the season's ups and downs, the team had found themselves in an intense playoff matchup versus Bemidji State.
Surprisingly, we were extremely confident. We were the 8 seed, so we got home court advantage, but we were 0-2 in the regular season against them. We actually lost on a buzzer beater the first time.
So we had played 2 games just like that with Bemidji. They hit a 3 here at the buzzer to beat us earlier in the year. We were up 2, we called timeout, we said, do not foul. Don't put them on the line, give them a chance to win the game, right? If they score, we're still gonna have the ball. It's gonna be about, we thought, 7-8 seconds left. Worst case scenario, we go into overtime at home. And the play call was really simple. Give Jack the ball, get out of his way, and let him go make a play. It really was that simple. It wasn't a lot of coaching involved in that, and because he makes big shots in those moments. He did against Augustana last year at home. He's done it a bunch of times, and that's kind of what we rolled with, and it worked out, so it makes it look like everything was a great decision.
I was really back and forth. They ended up making a shot with 10 or so seconds left to tie it up. Coach Johnson didn't call a timeout, so he kind of knew that I was just going to bring it up, and kind of lost the ball in transition a little bit if you've seen the clip, and then just decided to try to get downhill, get to the rim, and hopefully cause a foul. Didn't end up getting the foul called, but kind of snuck off a layup with my left hand that luckily bounced around the rim a few times and dropped in.
Great atmosphere. The amount of other teams, football, volleyball, baseball that were there, and then to win a game in such a kind of crazy deal, and then watch the students rush the floor. Those are some things you need sometimes to remind you why you do this when things get hard.
It was definitely one of the greatest experiences I've had at USF. Jake Kettner, my freshman roommate, it was just us two looking at each other at the bottom of the dog pile and just smiling, having a great time, and a moment that'll last forever, for sure.
From the Vessel Online, this is Caleb.
In April, USF Theater seniors Elliot Dahlman and Abigail Holmes teamed up to create Silent Sky, a play that explores the true story of Henrietta Leavitt and her discovering and measuring the distances to stars. Grace Flaherty has more on the story.
Tell me more.
Are you tempting me with astronomy?
Every senior communication studies and theater major is required to put on a senior show or project. This spring, Elliot Dahlman and Abigail Holmes are putting on Silent Sky, a play to be put on later in the semester. Dahlman gives a brief synopsis of the show.
Silent Sky is about a historical figure named Henrietta Leavitt. It's the story of her discovering a very important thing about space and how we map the sky and how we know the distance between stars. It's about her discovering that along with other women of her time in a very chauvinist, patriarchal society, and how she has to jump over all of those hurdles to get there.
Senior Abigail Holmes decided to take a different route to the senior show.
I have always loved acting at the heart. That's kind of what I started out doing. Silent Sky is such a well-written show that I knew that I would feel some sort of loneliness if I chose to direct, just because my one true love is being on stage and being in a cast and things like that. So I knew that I wanted to be in that aspect, especially in Silent Sky, since it is such a well-written show, and be able to say Lauren Gunderson's words and be authentic to that character has really, really changed kind of how I view acting as well.
Silent Sky will be performing on Saturday, May 4th. This is the only performance date, so don't miss out. With the Vessel Online, I'm Grace Flaherty.
It's that time of year again when the University of Sioux Falls holds its annual Giving Days. Vessel reporter Kylie Miller tells us more about this year's Give to Coup Days.
Every year, the University of Sioux Falls holds its annual Giving Days, also known as Give to Coup. This year, Give to Coup was held March 19 through 21.
And so 8 years ago, we did our very first one. We raised about $63,000 in that 24 to 36 hour period. And we just kept growing and growing. And this year we had $293,000 and almost 600 donors.
Give to Coup is a way for alumni, parents, and outside supporters to donate to the university. Their donations not only benefit the students, but also the campus.
Give to Coup is honestly just a great opportunity to continue to build our community and also give an avenue for our supporters to give to where they felt most impacted as a student, something they're really passionate about.
And so we have to kind of make sure we're offering as many as we can while also not making it impossible for our office to make sure these dreams all come true.
The university wanted to make the donations go as far as possible, so they added challenges and gifts. The challenges work by having a certain amount of donors or a certain amount of money given. Then, when that goal is reached, they will then unlock their gift.
So this year we had 41 states participate. We got a gift from 41 of the 50 states, and we're pretty excited about that.
Not only student life and our basic needs programs, but also campus ministry getting a spot in Give to Coup is awesome because, obviously we're a pretty vital support system for student success, and being able to be supported financially by USF's partners and community members is really special.
This year, Give to Coup had 591 donors and raised $293,100. From everyone at the University of Sioux Falls, thank you for your donations and generosity. Go Coup. For the Vessel Online, I'm Kylie Miller.
Students got some free time in early April to gather at the Salisbury Dining Hall and enjoy a formal dance. Reporter Daniel has the scoop on their fancy footwork.
The dining hall became a popular place on April 6th when CAB and student officials hosted a semi-formal dance. Kat, one of the CAB members and student officials, had this to say.
Well, this year and last year we had a dance in the spring because a lot of underclassmen girls asked for a dance. I think a lot of people didn't get a lot of dances in high school because of COVID. I feel like a lot of girls want an excuse to dress up and do their makeup and dance with their friends.
From 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock that Saturday night, the Salisbury Dining Hall was very popular with the students.
I think we had a great seems like most people who came were here the entire time, which is awesome. So yeah, we had a dance floor, and then we also had like a game room. We had all sorts of games like poker and spoons and Uno.
Students could also win prizes that would be handed out via a raffle at the end of the night. For the Vessel Online, I'm Daniel Newman.
We are taking another break, but when we come back, we will look at the annual Easter egg hunt, USF's TV production, and the production of the senior shows.
We will also look at the 54 Film Fest event, along with the testimony given by Elijah.
See you guys after the break. Welcome back to the Vessel Online's Spring Show.
Spring weather on the USF campus means outdoor events.
The annual Easter egg hunt was held this year from March 25th through March 28th, and although the weather wasn't great, all who participated still had a good time. Vessel reporter Kendra has the story.
Every year, there has been a tradition of doing an Easter egg hunt event around the USF campus. However, this year, the Cougar Activity Board has had the honor of taking over the role of planning and putting out this event. Today, members of the CAP community are here to talk about the event and what it all entails. Here's Kat Steffen, the CAP president, talking about the egg hunt and giving details on the prizes students will find.
My name is Kat Steffen. I'm a senior here at the University of Sioux Falls, and I am the Cougar Activities Board, or CAB, president. Every single year, there's a tradition around USF where around Easter time, Student Senate used to hide Easter eggs filled with candy. We have 256 eggs, which is a lot of eggs. Have the students try and find them all, but they won't. And there would also be 3 or 4 golden eggs that had a ticket in it that you would bring to Student Life, and then you would get a special prize that would be like a gift card or a gift card to Cougar Central, so you get some swag. I'm excited to hide them and see how the student body reacts.
Rebecca Cutler, one of the members, is sharing some more details on this event.
It's all over campus in all of the main buildings. We don't have any in the dorm buildings. And also some outside, so if you're brave enough to go outside when it's snowing and go find those eggs, you'll probably be one of few that will be looking outside. So maybe you'll have a better chance of finding a golden egg. And then we're just doing it as a team building. It's just fun. Celebrate Easter and give a little candy, get a little joy out on campus. Make sure that you guys get out and get your eggs.
They said this event has been a lot of fun to plan and be able to put out before break, and it will be an exciting way to get students around campus involved, whether they get a sweet treat or possibly a fun prize from one of the limited golden eggs on campus. From the Vessel Online, this is Kinder Wanenberg.
Our Vessel Online news show is produced by students in our USF television studio. Vessel reporter Thomas took a look at how the show is produced.
Every semester at USF, the media study students get to do their Vessel news show. The director of the show is Levi Smith. Levi says it's fun to be the director of the show.
Yes, I do like being a director.
Smith talks to the camera people through the headset, switches cameras on the TriCaster, and gives instructions to the floor director.
You know, at first I really was uncomfortable with calling the shots and telling people what to do, but it kind of came naturally. I'm able to, communicate with the crew more fluently now, and usually turns out pretty good.
His favorite part about directing is calling the shots.
My favorite part about directing is probably just how simple it is. I just sit back here, I get to choose the shots, I get to line them up, I get to choose how the whole story looks, so it's pretty cool.
There might be some directing in the future for Levi.
I don't really think I would ever be a director in the future, but I wouldn't say the opportunity is just a closed door.
For the Vessel Online, I'm Thomas.
Abigail gives us some details on what senior projects for communication studies and theater majors looks like.
When you enter the theater department at USF, you're likely to find some of the most creative and passionate students on campus. The communication studies and theater students are invited to prepare a project as a capstone to their time at USF. While many choose to produce a show, some take a different approach. These 3 students all decided to do something outside of the box to wrap up their senior year.
My name is Madeline Fermerick. I'm a Business Administrations and Communication Studies and Theater double major with a media minor.
My name is Paris Whalen, and I am a CST and Psychology major.
My name is Madeline Schulke, or MK. I am a CST and Philosophy and English double major. My senior project was a dance intensive.
For my senior project, I am organizing and inventorying the entire USF costume shop.
For my senior project, I did an original musical called The Other Side.
I chose to do a dance intensive because I really love dance.
I chose it because it was a passion project for a while. I didn't think that making the concept album into an actual musical would be something that would be possible.
My freshman year, I came in and everything was super unorganized. We didn't know what we had, or there were moments where we would buy something and I would find it a couple months later. It's not like we have an excessive budget, so in order to save money, I wanted to maximize everything that we do have so that we don't have to go and purchase duplicates of things.
And I love to introduce dance to people who might not have always been introduced to dance and give everyone an opportunity to try it out.
But when the opportunity presented itself and I realized I had the resources and enough people interested in it, I figured, why not share this story?
For the Vessel Online, this is Abigail Olson.
Some of the students on the campus love to get together and make movies. The Sioux Cinema Club gets together a couple of times a semester to make movies and short films. This year they participated in the 54 Film Fest. Elliot has the story.
Camera 2.
Rolling.
Slate.
Cam 3, scene 1C, take 2.
University of Sioux Falls Sioux Cinema Club, a filmmaking club designed by students, joined the 54 Film Fest once again this year. The 54 Film Fest takes place every spring in February over the course of 3 days. Teams must complete a 2 to 5 minute short film during this time. On the first day, each team joins the inception meeting, in which they will be assigned their genre. After every team has a genre, each team is then assigned a specific prop, line of dialogue, and action that must be incorporated into the short film. After that, writing begins. Hope Dunkel, assistant director and writer, talks about what the writing process was like.
It was so much fun. That was my first time getting to collaborate on a script with, it was 3 other people, I think. Yeah, 3 other people. And it was so much fun. We went and sat in the idea lab where we just bounced ideas off of each other and we wrote ideas that we wanted to incorporate in the script on the wall. And we got to take and logic it out all at the same time. So it was very fun because we were able to get it all written in like 3 hours and stuff like that. And we had a very cohesive story. So that was fun.
On the second day, filming begins. The Sioux Cinema Club spent all day filming at locations like Menlo Ave, Yankton Trail Park, outside of Jeski, and the podcast room. Ashley Fort, writer, talent, and gaffer, talks about her experience with filming.
Honestly, it was a blast. Absolutely would not trade it for anything. Completely worth the stress and excitement and the whole weekend dedicated to it. I think because it was such a small group, we were all able to really enjoy ourselves and have a good laugh, but then at the same time we were all able to share our ideas of how something should work.
On the last day, they scramble to edit, complete touch-ups, and pray they don't have anything to refilm. Abigail Olson, assistant director, editor, talent, writer, and composer, explains what the editing process was like.
How much to reveal and how early to reveal it and how things to look, the look of it was a lot of my decision. The security cam footage, I got to make a lot of the decisions on that, which I wanted it to be tinted blue. I wanted really low saturation, but not blue scale, black and white. And I got to mess around with the frame rate and how much static to put on it. And the sound effects, I got to make a lot of those decisions. That was great. And then of course I got to, editing and composing the music was really great because I got to align things with the musical hits, and I also got to align the musical hits with what's happening. I got to do both, which was really awesome.
The Sioux Cinema Club short film has been nominated for 8 awards and won 1 Best Student Action. With a Vessel Online, I'm Elliot Dixon.
Testimonies give people a chance to share their life story and how they've overcome hard times through the Lord. Vessel reporter and producer Chai Lee brings us Elijah's testimony.
So my faith journey was kind of rough. I didn't really have much of a Christian life, but I was a Christian. My mom put me in a private Catholic elementary school growing up, but she never went to church on Sundays, and I didn't either because of that. We never prayed, we never talked about Christianity. And then the big showstopper for me growing up was that my dad was a Christian. My relationship with my dad wasn't very good. He was abusive, and there was a lot of trauma with that relationship. So growing up, I didn't really have much, didn't really have much faith, but I identified as a Christian. I would say that I'm Christian, but I really wasn't. And it was at this church that I heard the song, "Come Rest on Us, Holy Spirit Rest on Us," and was just so impacted by the song during church. It was such a beautiful song, and it made me feel such peace in my soul after so much turmoil and just such a rough time. And it was then that I was kind of like, where did I go wrong? Like, where did my perception of Christianity go wrong? And so I started thinking about Christianity in a new way and started just kind of delving into my faith deeper in a new way. And then I came to college, and I am forever blessed that I was able to come to USF. I don't know how I ended up here because I met such great people here, and they helped me to delve even deeper into my faith and start learning even more. And as I learned more, I realized that the life that people were living here with God, even though it wasn't perfect, the fact that they were trying to follow Jesus, and I could see the life they were living, that even if they weren't happy, they had more joy. And I knew that that was a life I had wanted for myself. And so I went to this conference called Urbana. It's this global Christian conference, huge, millions of people. It was amazing. And I was blessed to go to this thing that they call prayer ministry. And during that prayer, the thing that came to my mind was the worst abusive experience where I actually feared for my own life during that moment. And I remember for some reason thinking of that during this prayer ministry, and I was like, why is this happening now? And then he asked me, where is God in this memory? And I remember hearing very clearly, and I can only describe it, like, to me it has to be true because of what it was like, the voice of God speaking to me saying, Elijah, you are my son. I am your father, and I love you. And I just remember I bawled, and because the experience, I mean, I can't even describe it in words. It was a presence of such like otherworldliness, of something that like I knew I wasn't supposed to experience, of such love and mercy and compassion and strength. But faith is a journey, it's a process. So that wasn't like an immediate flip. I mean, I still struggled a bit coming back from Urbana, adjusting back to normal life. But that was really where the process really started kicking off fast paced for me. And since then, I've had help from friends, a lot of friends, that have really helped push me to keep growing in my faith and take the next steps. And that's where I'm at, just kind of trying to keep moving along with my journey. So you can feel his presence in so many different ways, and I've certainly felt it in a lot of different ways. And I think you can feel it all the time if you just really look for it.
There was so much that happened, and it will be exciting what USF has to offer in the upcoming semester.
Thanks for watching this spring 2024 edition of the Vessel Online Show.
We will be back in the fall with some more stories from the campus of the University of Sioux Falls.